Welcome, everyone. It's Matt, and today we're going to talk about Machop because we haven't seen Machop in so long. Just kidding. But on for June 9th, it will be for Max Mondays, basically completing the quadfecta at this point. So let's get it done and prepare. All right, for the Max Monday schedule, Machop is going to be on June 9th. The next couple of weeks, honestly, are going to be a lot more exciting. Even Caterpie has, I think, a more interesting DMAX than Machop is right now. But we do have Hatena and Shuckle the following 2 weeks, and they're definitely going to be something interesting. But right now, let's go over Machop. So Dynamax Machop, the IV is 678 to 730, so 730 is your hundo that you're looking for. Machop takes increased damage from Fairy, Flying, and Psychic. We don't have a Fairy Pokemon until Hatena comes out the week after. Flying, though, we have Moltres and Charizard that are good for taking it out. You can also use Unpheasant as well, and Psychic is Metagross. Machop takes reduced damage from Bug, Dark, and Rock, which honestly just means that we can't use Butterfree, and really that's about it for things not to use. Its stats has pretty good attack, middling defense, and decent HP. When you evolve it, or if you have a Gigantamax Machamp already, what you're going to see is that the resistances don't change as it still only is a monotype of fighting. Its evolution is 125 candy, or if you trade a Dynamax Machop with a trainer, you can get it for free. I'll be honest, I don't see the point right now. We have received a great deal of candy. I know if you've missed all the events, then you still may be short. But a Dynamax Machamp is not going to be really used if you have a Gigantamax. But if you don't have a Gigantamax, I would highly suggest that you do get the Dynamax, as it still has some use, at least until you can upgrade your Kung-Fu into an Urshifu. Its stats, its attack is very high at 234. Defense is a little bit below average, and its HP is slightly above the Pokemon average, but still not exactly incredibly high. So really a one-trick pony, but it is a useful one-trick pony. So for the Machop, for the Dynamax, you were looking at the charge moves, especially for the newer trainers that don't have very strong Pokemon. Try to get your Pokemon to level 30. It will make a lot of these 1-star and 3-star fights pretty simple. Right now, it only has 3 moves: Cross Chop, Low Sweep, and Brick Break. So as long as your Pokemon isn't weak to fighting, you're really not going to take that much damage. So overall, it's a pretty simple Dynamax battle. So just comparing the unit, Gigantamax Machamp is a 10 out of 10 for attacking, but the Dynamax version, which is what we're getting this week, is a 7 out of 10. Urshifu is slightly stronger. For the overall Pokemon space, though, it's still a pretty good attacker in general at between 6 and 7 out of 10 for Dynamax. So that's why, even though it's a one-trick pony, it's still pretty useful as a one-trick pony. As a tank fighting, it is the weakest tank, has the lowest defense. Its resistances are kind of meh. For Pokemon, there are weaker tanks, but not that many. So on the tank side, it's not quite a glass cannon, but it's definitely not designed for DMAX or GMAX damage soaking. Healer, it's above average, but honestly, you're not going to design Machamp to be your healer. He's at best a secondary healer, which is what you're probably going to use it for. For fighting, right now, GMAX Machamp is king of the ring, but Urshifu is the second best, or the best contender for the ring right now at 29% compared to Flinks. Machamp is 10% behind for the Dynamax version of Urshifu. I know a lot of trainers don't have Urshifu, and I mean, we're talking 99.5% of all trainers don't have Urshifu yet. So Machamp is still very useful if you do not have Gmax Machamp, as it will be your best fighting unit for a while. And as I say, Gmax is the highest for the fighting, but Machamp still has its uses, at least until you can upgrade to either type of Urshifu, as they're both fighting units. For Dynamax Machamp Mega units, we're going to have 6 overall. Machop, if you're farming for Machop over the week, you've got choices between Heracross, Blaziken, Metachan, Lobunny, Lucario, and Galad. Right now, with a level 3 Mega 30 times, you get 2 bonus candy, the 25% chance of XL, and 100 EXP. If you're still trying to get a level 50, obviously the 100 EXP is also useful, but 25% chance for each of the 3 drops for the XL is huge, and you get 2 bonus candy. On average, you're really looking for the XL, but even if you just only get bonus candy, catch candy every 50 gets you a XL. If you're short on candy right now, that's where you're going to be short on, and mega units is incredibly important. So what's the overall battle plan for Machop? It's a pretty easy battle, even if you've only got level 20 units. As long as you've got a Metagross, a D-Max Charizard, or Moltres with a wing attack, it's a pretty easy and quick. Generally, it's one of those where if you have it set up right and got the right level, you can even down it before it transforms. So is Machop worth it for you? If you have a Gmax Machamp, you do not need a D-Max Machamp. It's pretty simple there. Really, you're only going to be using it for fighting, attack, and at this point, it's better to have any other tanks. And it's not the greatest damage sponge, but if you don't have the candy, then just make sure you use your Mega as well. This week, I'm going to be focusing on leveling up my Pokemon. Basically, I'm going to be focusing on my Rillaboom. I got the Hundo. I just maxed out its attack and maxed out its shields with the 1600 bonus, both Monday and Tuesday. And using that, got really far in that regards. It's level 40.5. I'm out of XL candy. Didn't really get to grind as much as I wanted to, so I didn't get as much XL candies. And I am definitely going to be looking for Grookey for a while to get my Hundo to level 50. But the other target, though, is going to be the battles my Urshifu needs. And with that, let's kind of go on what to expect for the next upcoming weeks. This section here is not going to be on just, all right, we have 3 to 5 D-Maxes that are going to be out. Now, half the power spots will be the Pokemon of the week or the Max Monday Pokemon. The other half will be the rest of the D-Max population, and it's going to be randomly placed. These changes have some pretty good positives and pretty strong negatives, and the negatives are a little bit more on depending on how many power spots that you have. So for the positives, hunting for specific Pokemon each week for the D-Max can be done weekly now. There's less pressure on finding the week that you're really desperate for, say, Sableye because you need the dark for Urshifu, or you've been really looking for Sobble or Grookey for me, just to try to get some quick and easy XLs, as sometimes for me, the starters are actually kind of hard to find sometimes, especially for me, it's Grookey, which is kind of odd. But in cities with large amount of power spots too, you basically have a endless choice of which D-Max Pokemon to go after. And the big issue that I see with this is that the divide between rural and cities are more widened. Also, it was kind of nice when you had a better opportunity of finding the one D-Max that you were really looking for. This one's going to be a lot more spread out other than the Max Monday D-Max Pokemon. But in general, I see this as a bit more of a positive than a negative. But people in the more rural areas will kind of feel a little bit more snake bitten in this regards, and I totally understand why. All right, so this video is coming out hopefully on the 3rd. We will have so I'm going to cover 2 weeks worth of what to look for until June 5th. If you have a Kung Fu friend and you want to turn into a single strike or a rapid strike. So for single strike for DMAX, you've only got Sableye. Sableye is going to be getting a lot easier next week with Hatena, and Hatena's really, really important for that. So if you can't beat Sableye right now, there is a good chance that you will be able to beat Sableye within a week or so. So stay tuned on that. But until June 5th, we actually have 2 targets that we can actually look for. We have, I believe it's a 3-star Skunk Take in the normal raid until at least the 5th. And for Murkrow is a Shadow, which will be throughout the entire month. So we now have 3 targets for Kung Fu Single Strike to turn into Single Strike, excuse me. For Rapid Strike, though, we have a lot more options. Water is definitely more plentiful in the DMAX, as we have Squirtle, Krabby, and Sobble that is available in the DMAX raids. Lapras is out there, but Lapras is only a GMAX, so they won't, or at least from what I understand, they won't be out in the normal field. And if they do, that would be really interesting. But I haven't seen it yet, so I don't think we're going to get any 6-stars randomly like that. And for raids, we do have a Shadow Lapras, which will count towards your water count as well. That is a 3-star battle where the Murkrow is a 1-star. The Murkrow is definitely easily beatable as a 1-star. The Lapras, though 3-star, is a little bit harder because it is a Shadow. Overall, those are the 7 units or Pokemon that you're looking for until June 5th. And for the 12th, the only difference is Skunk Take is basically gone. Might be the 6th or 7th. The 1 and 3-star raids are not really as forecasted as long as some of the others. But from what I've seen, it is going to be a pretty barren landscape for 1 and 3 stars for Dark and Water. With that, that is my Machop review. I hope you guys enjoy. Please give a like and subscribe, as that greatly helps my channel. I am also doing my community. What we're going to be doing is for this actual paid subscribers, I will try to make sure that if they are interested in that when my group does raids, that I will try and invite them after the first hour, as usually my group turns into 2 large groups of 25 or so. We can carry pretty much 10 to 15 per raid. And for that, I will be willing to bring in my community for that. That I will be starting in most likely July, as I will need to kind of focus a lot of my energies for Global Go Fest for at least the group. And after that, I'll be a lot more free to try additional endeavors to include more of a global community. On top of that, starting next week after New York City Go Fest, which I'll be going to, and if you'll be in the New York City area, you can draw some comments down and we can try and meet up. I will try to keep a relatively live update on my overall community page here on YouTube and potentially on Twitter and or Facebook. But generally, if I'm going to keep up, it'll be in my community and Twitter. So this month is definitely going to be a very busy month. I will be trying my best to post Inteleon tomorrow. If it is not up by Thursday morning, I will not be able to get it up until next Monday due to GoFest, as I'm just going to be way too busy during all those days, either traveling or coming home or doing Pokemon for 8 to 10 hours a day. So that's kind of what we have right now. Been trying to ensure that before I made the announcements that I had everything set up. And my Discord is basically ready and live, but I just need the time to set up some things for GoFest New York City. So that will be Monday, most likely. Might be Sunday night that I open up the Discord. On top of that, there was something else that I was going to include, and I drew a blank, and it is not on the script either. So I apologize for that. But with that, I'll try and do better next time. And if I do remember it, I'll post it on the community and Twitter at the very least. But as always, I'll try to do better next time. Thank you and goodbye.